Good news, everyone.
More good news.
More good news. You remember from our last stream, we talked about the Society for Neuroscience, SfN.
Oh, yes. Yes, I remember that.
Well, bring us up to date.
Oh, sorry. The problem and that we discussed in the last stream, it was that people were sending in abstracts to SFN, but SFN would not give any clarity about the COVID measures they would take, anti-COVID measures. Yes. So people were wondering if they should actually go.
Exactly. And people can be assured now that the answer is yes, because the Society for Neuroscience has released a statement on Twitter, probably also elsewhere, uh, saying to ensure the safest possible SfN21 gathering, COVID-19 vaccinations and masks will be required to attend the in-person portion of the event in Chicago.
But then I have a question.
Yeah, I know what you're gonna say. I know what
This
you.
is great, but
Yes, yes. Wait, let me look it up. Where is it? I found someone already saying what you're gonna say.
okay.
No, you go on. You go on.
What if people are not vaccinated because in their country the vaccine is not available, or they actually have a condition which means they cannot have the vaccine? What
Oh,
do we do then? Can we not
uh,
go to SFN? Are we completely excluded if we are in these groups?
that's not what I thought you were gonna ask.
Oh, this is what I was going to ask, of course, because if you make the vaccine mandatory, you're going to run into trouble. But okay, so
This
there
is
should be an
weird. I don't see all
alternative.
the retweets of it.
Okay, so
Uh,
what was the other obvious question?
no, let's go yours first.
So
I don't know if
I have a
anyone
solution.
at SFN wants to comment. Please do. What
Yes,
if
I
you
want
cannot get
to.
vaccinated? And
Yeah.
then again, I mean, I don't want to sound exclusionary, but if you have a critical health condition and you cannot get vaccinated, it might not be the best idea to go to an
Yeah,
in-person
because
conference right now.
one can attend online. So this is a good solution, of course.
I mean,
But I'm
it's not
also,
great, and it is going to exclude a small group of people.
yeah, so
Um,
the more problematic one, the more problematic group will be excluded is countries that are not vaccinating as fast as for example US are more like developing countries, and it's already difficult to do science there, and it's already difficult to involve scientists from all over the world in the scientific community. And now every country that did not roll out the vaccine smoothly, these scientists will be more disadvantaged.
I, I mean, I hear you. On the other hand, I think there
Yeah.
are greater obstacles to people from those countries.
I
Um,
don't know. Just don't put extra ones. It's like
no, but like, say you're from India right now, it's impossible for you to go to America.
okay, that's also yeah.
So,
There are extra obstacles already.
um, and they're rolling out vaccines. So,
Mm.
China, Russia, the same. There are indubitably countries where vaccine rollout is not going to be fast enough because SFN is going to be in October. Um,
Yeah, and I'm more worried about like
sorry,
Africa,
no, sorry,
South America.
November 8th to 11. No, huh?
Well, it should be no,
That's the registration.
the beginning of November is usually no,
No, it's
or the end of
Chicago,
October.
November 13 to 16.
That's actually no. It was usually end of October.
Yeah, it usually was.
It's
I
late.
looked up when I traveled to the US for SFN. It's always been in the middle of October.
Yeah,
It's been delayed.
it's
It's
always
now the middle of
Halloween.
November.
It's always Halloween in the US when you go to SFN. So
That's right.
yeah.
Uh, um, I looked it up because I went twice, and one time I left on October 16th, and the other time I left on October 17th, like 5 years apart. I left on almost the exact same date. But it's going to be November 13th.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, I mean, that is still August, September, October. It's still 4 months away. Like,
Yeah, maybe it's not
in
so.
almost every country, you will have the ability to get vaccinated, I think.
Yeah. So what
Aside from a small group.
the
But
the countries I was thinking about, the more African countries, maybe South American countries, because I think India and China, there is quite some research, there is quite a community, and people have some chances to go places.
yeah,
But
but they're also now very actively
yeah, now,
vaccinating people.
yeah,
So that,
yeah. So they will, hopefully, they will be okay. And otherwise, there's the online. Actually, the online makes it all more inclusive because if there's no funding to go and fly to the US, it's probably much easier to attend online. You need a lot less money. So this is
True.
very, I think this has been very, very good about the whole pandemic thing, that everything's online and researchers don't need to spend money to get information and input and put out their research to the community.
There is a counter argument there, which you probably don't know, and I'm very sorry for you.
Oh, but
Um,
now you will educate me and I will know.
no, no. So the
Oh,
thing is
you
that
can't?
many have expressed before: attending a virtual conference is not the same
It's
as
not the same.
attending an in-person conference.
No.
It's just not. I've attended a few virtual conferences, and it's you miss practically all of the social interaction. Um, which I mean, of course, there are advantages. It's cheaper. Um, it's better accessible. You can go to multiple conferences, and I know you have been to a few. Um, but
Wait.
it's just not the same experience, and I don't
No, it's
think
not.
we will ever go to fully virtual conferences.
No, 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 no. But
And as soon as
actually,
possible, we will go back to in-person conferences.
yeah. Actually, I think for conferences, it might not be the best. I had I can do a shout out to the NCOTS. NCOTS, I call it NCOTS all the time. ENCODS. So this conference, it's organized by
Can you drop a
PhDs.
link, please?
Oh, that would be difficult.
Go
Sorry.
to your browser on Twitch. Just drop it in.
Okay. Um,
So I've been attending the virtual dopamine conferences, VIDA, and that didn't. I mean, there was a lot of good talks, and I liked seeing those talks, but I didn't really get to interact with my peers, and you do get that far more at in-person conference, especially the smaller ones. There is a wonderful basal ganglia conference called IBAX, which is every 3 years. Next one's going to be in New Zealand, and I really want to go there. I have to convince some people to let me go. But because it's a little bit smaller, it's usually about 200, 250 people. Unlike SfN's 35,000 people, you really get to talk with everyone. And because it's such a specialized conference, everyone attending that conference is relevant. Like, the people you're citing, the people that are citing your work, the people you're collaborating with, those are the ones going to that conference. And you really get to know them, and you kind of already know their names, but now you see them in person. And you miss that with virtual conferences. And I'm very sad to say that there's a whole generation of graduate students now growing up, so to speak,
it's
or
virtual.
during their PhD that will never experience that. And that makes me very sad because it is a wonderful experience. And I really wish that upon everyone.
But
So,
I have to tell you still. I have to finish my story
yes.
about. I dropped the link now to the NCOTS. So they did. It's also kind of a small conference, and it's only with peers. Like, there are a lot of PhD students, and they used Gather Town, and they encouraged social interaction, I think. And it was really nice to go to the poster sessions, and then you could really talk to people. And then in the end of the day, there were some like non-scientific activities where you could like just chat with people. So they would just connect you with the webcam, but in some way it's easy. Maybe it's a little bit also, if you're socially shy, it might even be easier to sit at your computer because you have a list of attendees and you can just like choose who you interact with. Maybe there's more, I don't know. It's in some ways it's easier. In other ways it's more difficult because you can also just easily disappear and not interact at all. And you don't have anything, because what I enjoy with conferences or courses, when you go to a place, you have dinner after with these people. Like, you're all in the same place, you're all doing the same thing, and you have much more time to socialize. And when you're doing this virtual conference, you just, after 5, you just log out and you do your own normal routine at home, and you don't interact at all with the other people that go to the conference. So it's really limited, the time and interaction you spend together.
Yeah. I mean, on the other hand, there are. So I've heard the argument as well that for symposia or
Yes.
short talks. That
Yes.
can go virtual. That's much better. And
Yes.
while we're
Because
on the
that's
topic of
perfect.
shamelessly plugging stuff, I would like to advertise the Swedish Basal Ganglia Society meetings. Swaybags. We'll drop the link there.
Those are actually very engaging.
Those are very. But we've had some
It's very
really,
nice.
really amazing speakers there.
Yeah.
I mean, I
And
say we. I'm not part of the organizing committee. I know the organizing committee because well, it's Sweden and there aren't that many people doing are doing basal ganglia studies in Sweden, so I know them. Yep. The website is a little bit okay. Oh, there's the event archive. But yeah, so we've had Joshua Burke, who wonderful basic ganglia scientist, Anders Borklund, Stanley Grailner, you know, Susanne Haber, Jeanette Helgren Kotleski, Mark Humphreys of University of Nottingham. So yeah, these are all leading people in the field of basic ganglia that some of whom would not have been able to go to Sweden and would definitely not have come to Sweden for a 1 hour talk. But because we can do this virtually, we can meet with them anyway.
And
so yeah, I don't think virtual conferences will ever really work.
No, the conferences no.
But virtual talks, yeah,
the virtual talks are very good.
I see that as a good option.
And I think they have a pretty high attendance. Like if you put someone important to the field, and in the basal ganglia series, I noticed that all the PIs that are big in the field, they join every time, and then you can hear them discuss among each other, and there can be a lot of interaction. And you don't do that when you get one of them to Sweden. You have one other PI here in Sweden who invited the other leading PI in the field, and that's it. Like you have 2-3 people or something, and here you have like 6 of them, and they can attend every talk because the talk is online. it's really, that makes it interesting, I think.
True, and I'm hoping that we will keep doing that, and I look forward to see how this evolves. Like we are right now doing, well, we're on Twitch. We're also kind of talking science virtually, which is kind of cool. I think. I hope you guys also like it. And there are other platforms that haven't necessarily been used within neuroscience or science in general, but that have been used by other groups like gamers, people go to conventions, people that like a common interest. And I wonder if we can adopt some of those practices. Things like Discord works really well, in my opinion, for casually meeting and talking with people.
Yeah.
Way better than Slack. I strongly, thoroughly dislike Slack. I do apologize.
But Slack is only for messaging, right?
So the VIDA conference used Slack as sort of a way to communicate while the conference is going on, which was nice.
Yes.
You had some people talking in Slack. But Slack doesn't work quite as well as Discord. Just switching between servers is so much easier in Discord. Setting up a very quick voice chat works so much better in there.
Yes, I think everything works very easily. Like what you want to do, then you press the button and it usually happens. And there are many things one can do there. And there are many things one can share.
Yeah. The main thing, the advantage that Slack used to have is you can make threads. So you can have a discussion and like kind of a side discussion. I have never seen that used well in Slack. Like we've tried it in my previous lab, and just people would always talk in the main chat, in the main thread. They wouldn't go on in that discussion thread. So it would still push an important discussion all the way up and out of sight.
Yeah, this is also my problem with the threads in Slack, and I have a problem with the notifications in Slack. I don't know if they improved their notification management system, but I either get all or none, and it's very difficult to manage them. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. And for that, I mean, Discord is awesome. And I asked a while ago on Twitter, who here is using Discord? And the answer is nobody.
Yeah, because it's
a few people, but for games, no scientists for science reasons, science things. So yeah, but we'll see.